You sit down to study, you open your notes, you tell yourself, okay, this time I'm actually going to focus. And somehow, 20 minutes later, you're watching random videos, checking messages, or staring at the same page without remembering a single word. Sound familiar? Here's the crazy part. The problem isn't that you're lazy. The problem is that your brain thinks studying is a bad deal. Think about it. Social media gives you rewards instantly. Every swipe is something new, a funny video, a notification, a surprise. But studying? You work for an hour and get nothing. No reward, no excitement, no dopamine. So your brain naturally chooses the easier option. But what if you could change that? What if studying felt less like a chore and more like something your brain actually wanted to do? Today, I'm going to show you a simple dopamine protocol that can make studying feel dramatically easier. Let's get into it. Step 1. The 5-minute rule. Most students make the same mistake. They tell themselves, I'm going to study for 4 hours. Instantly, their brain wants to escape. Instead, tell yourself, I'm only studying for 5 minutes. That's it, 5 minutes. Your brain stops resisting because the task feels small. And here's the interesting part. Once you start, you'll usually keep going. Starting is the hardest part, not continuing. Step 2. Create instant rewards. Your brain loves rewards, that's why video games are addictive. You get points, levels, and achievements immediately. Studying usually has none of that. So create your own rewards. Finish a study session? Listen to your favorite song. Grab a snack. Take a short walk. Anything small and enjoyable. Because your brain repeats what gets rewarded. Simple as that. Now here's the mistake secretly destroying your focus, and almost everyone does it. Step 3. Stop cheap dopamine. Imagine eating cake right before dinner. Healthy food suddenly tastes boring. The same thing happens with your attention. If you've spent an hour scrolling TikTok, Reels, or Shorts, your brain becomes used to constant stimulation. Then your textbook feels painfully boring. So here's the challenge. Avoid short-form content for 1 hour before studying. Just 1 hour. You'll be surprised how much easier it becomes to focus, but we're still missing one important piece. Step 4. Make progress visible. Your brain loves seeing progress. That's why crossing something off a checklist feels so satisfying. So don't keep your progress in your head. Track it. Use a calendar, a notebook, a habit tracker. Every completed study session gets a check mark. One small win, then another, then another. Eventually, you're no longer studying because you feel motivated. You're studying because you don't want to break the streak. And that's powerful. Now for the final step, the one most students never think about. Step 5. End while you're winning. Most people stop studying when they're completely exhausted. That's a mistake, because your brain remembers how experiences end. If every study session ends with frustration, your brain starts associating studying with pain. Instead, end on a small success. Finish one last problem, review one concept, get one final answer right, then stop. Leave your brain wanting more. That makes it much easier to come back tomorrow. So let's recap. The dopamine protocol. Start with the 5-minute rule. Create instant rewards. Avoid cheap dopamine before studying. Make progress visible. End every session with a win. None of these steps are complicated, but together they completely change how your brain sees studying. And that's the goal. Not more motivation, not more discipline, a better system. Because the students who succeed aren't always the smartest. They're usually the ones who make studying easier to repeat. So, here's your challenge. Tonight, Before your next study session, try just one of these steps, not all 5, just one, and see what happens. If you found this helpful, comment Dopamine Protocol below. And if you want more science-backed study hacks that make learning feel almost unfair, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.